This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And I know traditionally I'm supposed to be doing birthday boys of someone who is still living as of the taping. However, I already did two October 14ths in the past of these guys, and this guy was the only other guy left. So this guy is the greatest college basketball coach of all time, bar none. Guy won 10 NCAA titles in a 12-year period, which is amazing. I mean, his UCLA team holds the record for most consecutive wins at 88. He was National Coach of the Year 7 times. And he even was a player, a decent basketball player. His name was John Wooden. He was born October 1910. So anyway, he was raised in Centerton, Indiana. He had 3 brothers and 2 sisters. But his 2 sisters all died in infancy. Anyway, Wooden was a 3-time All-State selection for college for basketball. Of course, that's kind of in its infancy. He would go to Purdue in 1928 and for 4 years would play basketball for Purdue. The 1932 Purdue squad would have done quite well if the NCAA tournament had existed, but it hadn't until 1939. John Wooden was All Big Ten 3 times at Purdue and a 3-time consensus All-American. He was really good at all of that. He had great academic excellence. He was known as the Indiana Rubber Man for suicidal dives on the hard court and graduated in England, a degree in English. So anyway, he was pretty good. He went to the National Basketball League, as they call it, the predecessor to the NBA, with Indiana, Wooding, and Hammond. He went into the Navy and was a lieutenant. He would actually coach at Dayton High School in Dayton, Kentucky, while an NBL player. He went to South Bend Central High School to coach basketball, be the athletic director, and teach English. His high school coaching career over 11 years was 218 and 42, which was huge. And then after World War II, Wooden went to Indiana State University to study for 3 years. He would be the athletic director and completing his master's degree in education. And all that. They were going to go to a prestigious tournament, but because of it being segregated, Wooden declined the invitation. So, anyway, he almost went back to Purdue, but he said no. Wooden led Indiana State to the conference title, and then the NIAIB, the tournament that Wooden rejected, actually reversed his policy about African American players. Wooden would coach the team till the title game till they lost to Louisville. But he did well. UCLA needed a new head coach, so by 1948 they said, we need to take this guy. So he would be the 4th basketball coach in school history. His predecessor would be the school's athletic director. So Wooden signed a 3-year contract for $6,000. The University of Minnesota had a chance to go to Minnesota, but because of inclement weather, Wooden couldn't get the phone call. Wooden decided to go to the Bruins. So anyway, it was amazing how a drop phone call led to him going to UCLA instead of Minnesota. Wooden says that my system is suited to counter all the modern defenses I've seen. Anyway, UCLA's basketball program was not really that great. But in his first season, he took a UCLA team that only won 12 games out of 25 and made them 22-7. The most wins in basketball history for UCLA at that time. Then they got up to 24 in 1950. So, anyway, there were rumors back in 1950 that John Wooden would head back to Purdue after the Coach Tobey left Purdue. It was supposed to be Wooden's inclination to return to Purdue and accept the coaching job there. Anyway. But Wooden did feel that leaving UCLA prior to the expiration of his contract would be breaking his word, so he couldn't break his word. But by 1956, UCLA had some success and all that. UCLA just couldn't get to the NCAA tournament at times. Now, Wooden's team would be hampered by a probation that was imposed on all UCLA teams in the scandal that involved the school's football team. And the PCC conference was dismantled because of that scandal. But by 1962, UCLA was back on top of things, with no probation and all that. UCLA got to the Final Four and lost at Cincinnati. But things would be huge. As assistant coach Jerry Norman actually told Wooden that the team's small-sized players and fast-paced offense would be complemented by zone-press defense. Whatever that means, it actually led to a dramatic increase in scoring, and UCLA went 30 and donut, winning the national title game, beating Duke. So the small guys beat the tall guys. Will Hazard was named tournament MVP. And no UCLA player was taller than 6'5". And they forced 29 turnovers. So anyway, UCLA beat Michigan in the 65 final, proving they were good. All that. Unfortunately, UCLA lost to Oregon State in the division in 66. And the rules at the time was one team per conference. Only conference champions received a bid. But after Lou Alcindor could play varsity with UCLA, they claimed the conference title and an El Perfecto season. That started one of the greatest runs in sports history. Nonetheless, NCAA. Regardless, the Bruins would actually build a better home. They actually had played at the men's gym, which was only 1,500 people. But UCLA decided to move games to the Pan Pacific Auditorium in the LA Memorial Sports Arena to attract larger crowds. But there would be an on-campus facility called Poly Pavilion built for the 65-66 season. And it was huge and all that. So UCLA was dominant. The problem is because Lou Alcindor, aka Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was so dominant, they decided to ban the dunk. And all that. If you dunk, then it's a technical foul. So anyway, it didn't hurt UCLA until January 1968 in what they called the Game of the Century. The Houston Cougars would be hosting the UCLA Bruins at the Astrodome in Houston, which was cavernous for a basketball game. It would be the nation's first nationally televised regular season game. And LA lost 71-69 thanks to Alvin Hayes' 39 points. UCLA said they would start over. They went undefeated the rest of the year and crushed Houston in the semifinals for revenge. So it worked quite well. Yeah. So UCLA were very dominant in 68. In 69, they won another national title game beating Purdue. And Lou Alcindor got his third straight NCAA tournament championship MVP. Yeah. A lot of people said that once Alcindor graduated, UCLA will go back to being also-rans. Nope, didn't work. As UCLA beat the University of Jacksonville 80-69 because of double-teaming Artis Gilmore. And Jacksonville had 100 points per game, but they only could score 69 in the loss. Anyway, 1971, LA beat Villanova 68-62. And then only won by 5 against Florida State for the 72 crown. So UCLA kept winning and winning and winning. Took down Memphis 87-66 in the 73 final. Bill Walton went 21 for 22. However, UCLA would suffer a shocking loss in January 1974 to Notre Dame 71-70 in South Bend. Ironically, UCLA's 88-game winning streak started with Notre Dame. And then 2 months later, NC State in double overtime took down UCLA to knock them out, knock the defending champions out. David Thompson was huge, and Tom Burleson played great defense against Bill Walton. Wooden announced his retirement after the 75 season. And all that. And he decided to retire after the championship game after beating Louisville in a close overtime game. UCLA crushed Kentucky 92-85, and it looked good. Wooden finally got something over Kentucky, and its 10th national title game. Anyway, it worked out. Wooden used his teachings to make things happen and all that. Wooden was known as the Wizard of Westwood. He helped UCLA win 620 games in 27 seasons, 10 NCAA titles out of 12, and have an 88-game winning streak. Wooden would only lose 3 games at Pauley Pavilion in 10 seasons. Only 3. It was amazing what he could do. Wooden actually turned down offers from the Los Angeles Lakers. So yeah, so he was just huge for UCLA. 620 wins. UCLA 44 with Indiana State, so it's 664 NCAA things. It's amazing what he could do. 64, 65, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, and 75. He was the champion. He just had a legacy and all that. I mean, why wouldn't he? UCLA in 2003 actually dedicated the basketball court to John and his wife. And all that. So it worked out quite well. So anyway. Was just huge and all that. Wooden had the Presidential Medal of Freedom. John Wooden's 100th birthday was honored by UCLA. All that. So he did his job. But unfortunately, UCLA's future head coaches after Wooden would not do so well. Yeah, they won the title in 1980. Well, they went to the title game in 1980, but lost to Louisville. UCLA would struggle till 1995 to finally win a national title game and break kind of the curse of Wooden, if you will. And it's the only time after John Wooden that UCLA has won a title was 1995. Wooden had his wife Nellie Riley, and Nellie died of cancer at age 73 March 1985. They had 2 kids. Yeah, Wooden had a monthly ritual. On the 21st of every month, he would visit her crypt in the mausoleum and write a love letter to her. After completing each letter, he placed it in an envelope and added it to a stack of similar letters that accumulated over the years on the pillow she slept on. He was a devout Christian, read the Bible daily, and hoped faith would inspire everyone. Wooden was actually in good physical health till 2006, in a sense. He had bleeding in the colon. He had pneumonia. But he kept coming to things. He died of natural causes at age 99, June 4, 2010, survived by a son, daughter, 3 grandsons, 4 granddaughters, and 13 great-grandchildren. John Wooden had a 7-point creed. It said, "Be true to yourself. Make each day your masterpiece. Help others. Drink deeply from good books, especially the Bible. Make friendship a fine art. Build a shelter against a rainy day. And pray for guidance and give thanks for your blessings every day." So he did everything. And all of that. A lot of work he did. John Wooden was a legend in the pre-NCAA tournament days and in the NCAA in general. I'm Jeff Diamond, I do.